Hello, everybody. My name is James. I was playing Onyx before his death. Joining me is Mr.
Noise.
Grayson.
Hello,
I'll use restraint.
I was not present in the last
Oh my god,
session.
man.
Yep. And then there was Justin, who just tried to interrupt the intro.
Hey, sorry.
It's okay. Cameron, who plays Kalakath. You're muted. Or
Hi,
you're
my
not.
internet disconnected. I'm here.
Oh, shoutouts. And there is Matthew, who plays Domino.
What's up?
Now, for those of you who do not know, joining us for the first time, why? And for those of you who are continuing to watch, thank you. We will be discussing episode 8. And I want to get a step-by-step opinions on everyone. We'll start off with our good friend Justin. Justin, getting into episode 8, what were your intentions with the episode? What did you think you wanted to accomplish?
My vengeance.
Vengeance.
My revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much about the same as everyone. Where we left off with episode 7.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted, personally. I just wanted my revenge.
Okay. And anyone else can jump in at any time. I'm just going down the list for the basic questions for now. But next we'll talk to Cameron. Now, Cameron, Mr. Cameron, what was your intentions for episode 8?
Well, if you watched episode 8,
Mhm.
I think my intentions were made very clear.
Right, for sure.
That he was hungry.
He was a hungry boy.
Well, like Astrid said, same as everyone else at the time.
Hmm.
Despite Kalakath's nature of things, I guess. Vengeance. Without a doubt.
Yeah,
Make
for
sure to
sure.
avenge Onyx.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like a something everyone took offense to.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Everyone liked Onyx a lot.
Well, yeah. He straight up gave himself to the shadow government police and trusted them wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then betrayed our very thin trust to the Red.
Yeah.
And then
Now Onyx is going on a T-shirt.
Yeah, maybe a
Yeah.
pair of socks too.
True.
Maybe.
Domino, what
Yeah.
were your intentions for episode 8?
Episode 8, my intentions. Well, at first, it was just to catch up with what we missed out on, but after seeing the death of my only friend,
Hmm.
besides my best friend Astrid,
True.
Where shout
it
out,
was
shout
then,
out.
yeah, shout out. It was then to, well, Domino, I don't think he knew he was dead, so, but he kind of assumed. So, revenge after not saving him, I guess.
Right. So, Zatira, who was absolutely there.
I was absolutely there, and I saw everything there, and it was basically just basically what we did was set up an ambush and just try and get both of you out of there and not let them actually take you guys away, but they cut us off at one of those.
Yeah. Shout out, homeboy Onyx. But we'll have a much cooler character coming up.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool. Straying away from, outside of the campaign, we have a lot of things that did happen inside the campaign. And this was just going to be to anybody. What were y'all thinking when the biblically accurate werewolf showed up, huh?
Well, I was thinking, like, man, I know less about this guy than I already knew that I didn't really know. I already didn't know a lot, but now I realize I know even less.
Yeah. Kind of showed you, like, there's a way larger gap than you were anticipating. I bet it was exciting,
Yeah,
Calicat,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Oh, what? The transformation?
Yeah, the transformation showing that off.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It felt good.
Mhm.
It has been 8 episodes, and I finally got to use it.
You
Hell
know,
yeah.
I will say it
Like,
is
what,
nice
day
seeing
4
everybody
out of
else's. Yeah. I will say it is nice getting to hear everybody else's reaction when I got to hear it firsthand. So that felt good.
Yeah, because you were in the prequel, right?
That's right.
It's
I've been
like-
having to keep his little deal secret for 8 episodes. That's like 2 months.
Oh, that
I've been
was-
having to keep secrets.
That was almost more than 2 months. Because the first
Yeah.
episode was like the second week of April. And we did
Yeah,
our
I think-
prequels way
And I think
before.
his prequel was in February because that was crawfish season.
So
That's the
really
only
it's
reason I
been,
remember
like,
that. So
5 months or
Well.
almost 6 months. Wow. Now, Dom,
Yeah.
I think you almost you were trying to say something, right?
I've kept a really hard to keep secret because it sounded awesome.
I was gonna say, Domino is not looking forward to interacting with Calicat in the future.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Seeing what's happened now, everyone already knew that like the first episode was a bit of a mistake for Domino,
Mhm.
but things have been made significantly worse for the
Oh,
poor
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Constant bad luck, I'd just say.
Constant bad luck.
Unfortunate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really, Onyx's death kind of like threw Domino's goals in a loop because
Right.
Onyx was his really only, I want to say, his only way to kind of figure out what's going on with his backstory.
Yeah, is very unfortunate for sure. There, I mean, maybe it could be a fun idea that, like, Calicath is on his way to learning a lot of academic magic. That maybe
Yeah.
there's a redemption for Domino in Calicath's eyes, and Calicath can help him learn his whole deal. Maybe.
Maybe. Or
Hopefully.
Domino will get his spine pulled out of his chest.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Shout
Or
out.
the
Shout
other.
out.
Shout
Oh,
out.
so you're gonna have to explain that to the whole party as well.
Which part?
That all of it, all of it,
Oh, yeah.
everything
I
you
don't
did.
follow.
Yeah, Zatira is definitely gonna have a lot of questions for you for episode 9. I didn't feel like I could do it justice playing Zatira, like how mad she would probably be at you, but oh boy, you ate a guy.
Holy,
Oh, well,
holy shit, lad! He's a dog.
Uh-huh.
Still keeping secrets, huh?
Yeah, I will say you did. You might have made a small grudge with Astrid because of what you did to the back of him with your held back level 1 Thunder Wave. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Devastating.
Well,
power.
devastating power.
That did exactly the rest of my HP. So that's epic.
Don't
Shout out.
underestimate bards, man. Don't underestimate them.
Bards are strong.
true.
I know,
especially
dude.
not whenever they're that.
Yes, especially werewolf bards. Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Uh huh.
Yeah.
Instead of
And I'm not keeping secrets. I told you guys the truth.
you did.
Not the
Just
whole
not the
truth.
whole truth.
Lie by
I
omission.
did.
There's definitely an omission there. Like, oh hey, I'm a
No,
celestial. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And everyone thought one thing.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sure. I heard of Celestial Born guys. Oh, you can do that? You could have done that the whole time?
Not my fault you guys don't read your books.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think they put that in books either. In universe,
Oh,
I don't
maybe
think
not.
they put that in the book.
I don't know. We'll never explore a library, so we'll never really know.
Yeah, we're still fugitives.
Yeah, wanted by the law.
And speaking of fugitives, do you think we'll be able to clear our name in Crossroads?
Not with the red.
No.
Not with the red.
Not with the red, but maybe with the
Crossroads?
actual police.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you think
Crossroads, yeah.
if we ever find, you know, the Silver Vine and we get this mask situated, do you think like Lord Vashon will be like, ah, that's my bad. It still won't be work out good for Domino, but maybe the other four of us.
There's definitely a chance for that
Yeah.
because the red have consistently said that they want one thing, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really involve you guys, and then the Crossroad actual police involves the rest of you four or three now. Shout out.
Oh.
Shout
But-
out.
So I think there is a chance that if you guys do make a concerted effort to do that, that's possible. You know, that's absolutely
Revealed to him just how deep the conspiracy goes. And now that we have Pearl with us, being a witness to this,
Mhm.
he could be a reasonable or perhaps like a trusted vehicle to deliver said information of how deep this conspiracy goes for this thing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I feel like we're scratching the surface on a lot of things. Once we find out a lot more information, we can absolutely make. Well, you guys can make a plan. My next character is going to show up whenever, probably after you guys make a plan. So, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to your brother about a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah. Get him on you guys' side and gain a lot of information. Because, like, the first couple of episodes have been you guys looking for clues, and now you guys have the clue master, you know?
Right, right. An actual detective on our side now. Or
Yeah.
hopefully on our side.
Yeah, you just have to get him on your side, I think.
I don't think it will be too difficult to do now.
Yeah. There's definitely a failure window, but I feel like that failure window is pretty small. You know?
Right, I have to choose all the wrong words.
Yeah, yeah, if you just, tell him to go fuck himself, it might be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So we pretty much have to play our cards totally wrong on purpose, huh? Is that what we're getting at?
Yeah, if you don't want to know everything, then yeah, you should absolutely play your cards wrong.
Because what I'm getting at is that now that we've helped Pearl, I feel like he's just our ace in the hole.
He's gonna be a big help. I don't think he's our ace in the hole, but
Well,
he's definitely gonna help us a lot.
With the hand that's been
With
dealt
direction.
to us, it's definitely helpful and huge.
Yeah,
Very nice to have.
he's definitely like a great boon to have. We just have to make sure that he's stays our ally and stays like with us, Maybe not with us like that, but with us like alliance wise. So we're gonna have to
Yeah.
do some
Keep a close eye on him too.
some friendly negotiations, and you give us this information, we'll give you that information, I think there's a little bit of work to be done, and then he'll be a great ace in the hole, I think.
Or we could, you give us
Yeah.
the information, or a giant dog will bite your head off.
I don't think that's gonna convince him. I don't think that's gonna.
Yeah, I feel like this needs to be a, scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah,
I
he's.
understand, it was a joke.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understood the joke. I just got scared because that's something that might happen.
Very well could happen.
Yeah, now that he's witnessed it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy. So, I want to get into something. All right. On the last podcast that me and Sylv and Grayson did, the DM exclusive podcast that hasn't come out yet, but might come out by the time that this episode comes out. I don't really know. We discussed how I was drawing Zatira and Astrid since last year. Like my first drawing of Zatira and Astrid were like October-ish or like right before October, you know. And that you guys have had Zatira and Astrid for almost a year now. I want to switch it to Calicath and Domino, Cameron and Matthew, because you two are kind of new to the show in the grand scheme of things. You guys kind of were like, okay, yeah, let's do this. I want to hear both of your opinions on what it was like to get into this campaign. We'll start with Cameron.
Well, I know you said that Astrid and Zatira have been in the works for about a year now.
Mhm.
Calicath has also sort of been the same, maybe a little bit longer, because I did a very, very short campaign, not too long ago, or I guess long ago now, in which Calicath was in it. Very similar to how he is now, although he had no transformation.
Right.
In which if we had continued the campaign, Calicath would have ended up being the villain of the story,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is something fun to note.
Crazy. It's almost like an
And,
influence on ours.
Foreshadowing?
Foreshadowing? Oh.
Not foreshadowing,
Uh-huh.
but also coincidentally, when he first became, or in the story, when he would first become a villain, the first place he would have destroyed would be the tavern where everybody met up at,
Ooh.
which I thought that was funny compared to what happened to our tavern.
Right. It also
Oh,
kind of
God.
blew up in a certain way.
Yeah, it was a very specific way.
Right.
Domino.
Okay, so you'd say that your character concept has been in the work for about a year. What about, you kind of got the invitation late to join the show. Was that a big change? Was that a surprise? How did you take that?
What, like getting the invitation?
Yeah. Like, what was your experience? Did you know that you were going to choose Calicath immediately, or was it what was that like?
Not immediately, and I wasn't surprised that I got the invitation to join, because everyone had been talking about wanting me to be in like D&D sessions for a while now. I
For
just
sure.
at the time I didn't have the time to play,
Mm.
but my schedule kind of got pretty loose whenever this campaign started. As above started getting mentioned,
Mhm.
and I didn't know right away I was going to do Calicath. I was trying to figure out like what characters I could play, what style I wanted to play, and I thought about it, and I ended up looking back at my campaign, and I was like, damn, this villain looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
Why don't I just roll with that?
Yeah.
Did some
For
tweaks, made him not a villain.
Sure. Mhm.
Ended up giving him a new background, of course,
Mm.
and some class and race talk with Sylvan. There he is.
Yeah, nice. So a lot of the DNA is still there, but it's not the same character, you would say, right?
Yeah, his personality is still there. Pretty much its personality, character design is almost exactly the same.
Mhm.
Almost, except now he wears leather armor rather than a hood or like a cloaked armor. But as far as like how he is mechanically completely different. He
Okay.
wasn't a bard. He wasn't the same race. None of that.
Right. Okay. Cool. Let's move over to Domino. You also were kind of a late invitation. I think, if I remember correctly, we invited you a month before we started filming. And I say filming loosely, more streaming, you know. How was it for you? Did you have your Domino character already ready? And how was it to join in on all of this stuff?
Ooh, okay, good question, good question. Um, I believe I was working on a character, and um, the DM just kind of like helped me flesh it out
Mhm.
more. I had a general concept of what kind of person I wanted to play as. Didn't have the class or anything picked out yet, but he helped me kind of figure out uh, what to choose. I had the background ready, and I had the kind of, I guess, character traits that I wanted for Domino out, fleshed out. I wanted him to be kind of this uh, person who used to be in charge of a criminal ring,
Mhm. Mhm.
and he kind of just helped me flesh that out a lot more.
Okay.
Going into the D&D campaign, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Mhm.
Um, this is like my first real big campaign, I would say. I've done a
Yeah.
lot of little ones before. One before this that didn't really go that far, but
Yeah.
um,
Shout out to that group. Um,
yeah,
I know one of the groups you're referring to. I don't know if I know the whole story, but yeah,
yeah,
you were also in
yeah,
our one of our big ones for like 5 episodes.
yeah. That was fun, and I believe my character got to see the ending of that,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. So that
Yeah,
was cool. That was cool. So,
at least one of the endings.
yeah, I can't wait to definitely get the experience of having Easter eggs in campaigns. I know that you guys do that a lot, which is kind of cool. Especially the DM works very hard to get that in there.
For sure, for sure. I think that stuff will be a lot of fun, and maybe we'll see, you know, some returning characters. I don't know. I'm not the
Mhm.
DM, but I can only make guesses. Um, Now, Justin, I've asked you in a previous podcast, what sort of inspired your character process. But if you want to add anything else to it, while everyone else is talking about that, and you, Grayson, as well, you can do that as well.
I mean, it's unorthodox, but all of my characters have been spur of the moment creations,
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
and it's not really a lot of outside influence. It's just, hey, this sounds cool, and it just somehow like it works
Hmm.
for me the best. Like I've done trope characters. I did a character because I thought it would be funny,
Right.
which is what this character is, Astrid.
Hmm.
Because originally he was going to be a rogue. Can you imagine how funny that would be? A 350 foot like pound 8 foot tall up on
Yeah, yeah.
you and stabbing you in the back for crazy. And I don't know. And I chose for like my very first campaign. I was a dwarven paladin
Hmm.
because I like paladins and thunder and lightning and that stuff's cool. And
Very
I just did my
frightening. Yep. Yeah.
normal. I just did my normal redneck voice, and I was always acted drunk all the time because that's what dwarves like to do.
Hmm.
Like to get drunk and smith stuff, but I just like the aspect of combat, which is fun.
Hmm.
And this second campaign, it was I just went simple. I just went barbarian and
Right.
had a blast. I went half orc barbarian.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love
No,
barbarians.
they're pretty fun. But I'm like monk is
It
I I think I'll state it here, guys. I think Monk is my favorite D&D class.
Yeah, it really seems like you really enjoy it. You know, the movement, you know, there's some tanking there. I want to give props to you on film, because I think I've also said this outside of the podcast and outside the show, but you flanking that one guy was a really cool display of like, okay, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, the priest, the one character who was in my line of sight for vengeance and revenge. Oh yeah,
Yeah, the icky sticky guy.
yeah,
sure.
the stinky icky guy.
Yeah, a little.
Which of course, Cameron can attest to this. Back when we used to play together in the very first campaign, I was a grappling fool, dude. I always like tried to suplex people. I threw bricks at people
Mhm.
because like that's intimidating and funny. Can you like? I just grabbed a brick out of a brick wall. You know they're not supposed to move, and I was strong enough to grab it out of there and throw it at a guy.
Right,
And
right.
so like, yeah, let me get behind this dude because I remember this. What the one rule I remember from Rose so very clearly because it stuck with me.
Mhm.
It was like when I asked. It was I believe it was a prequel. And I was like, hey, is this guy considered flank? It was when we were fighting the crab. Is this crab considered flank with an NPC guy? And he said no, because you guys wouldn't know how to do that. And I was like, huh, noted. So now that we've been traveling together, me and Calicath me, Calicath, and Satira more than the other two,
Shout out.
I knew while, Calicath was in dog mode, rabid dog mode, I was like, hey, I'm friends with Calicath. We've fought together. We've seen things. Watched a spire crumble to the do. I'm like, yeah, this guy's flanked. It's got to be flanked.
For sure, for sure.
And like, we're just a good old tag team. Like, he can't go anywhere. I wouldn't let him.
Right, right. Yeah,
It's just fun.
for sure. It was a lot of fun.
It really.
That whole fight was a lot of fun, and everyone can jump in on this one as much as you'll want. But even though I was playing Zatira, who isn't my main character, and I was missing a couple of shots, I was still everything on the battlefield was still really cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
caught my
yeah.
first arrow on stream.
You did, and you threw
Yeah.
it back and killed the guy.
Yeah, I threw it back harder than he shot it at me.
And it was on his turn.
I know.
That's
that
really
was
funny.
awesome. It felt great. He described it perfectly.
For sure, for sure. And I bet it must have felt some kind of good, Cameron, for you to just pig out almost.
Yeah, and
that
melt
one guy.
people.
Call it pig out.
Yeah, no. I would
Nah,
call
just
it.
hungry, hungry
it did-
hippo.
I mean, you definitely
Yeah.
devoured them.
Good.
Uh,
But,
definitely.
Honestly, though, my favorite part was
my
when
laser
Calicat jumped
weapon-
through that window.
Domino, you say that again?
I said I
Oh,
really liked it
yeah.
with. Oh.
No, go for it, Domino. Go for it.
Sorry, Calicat. I really liked it when you jumped through the window, dude. That was like horror movie shit. That was pretty good.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I immediately knew I wasn't going to be strong enough to bust down the door. So the next best
And
option
then-
is going around.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Astrid busting down the door.
hmm Honestly, that captain could have died from either Astrid or Calicath. I think he
He got
took
out
the
all
good.
right.
I think he got out all right. I think.
Oh yeah, he got the good side.
Yeah,
He got the
compared
true ending.
compared to
I
what
just
could have
imagine-
happened. Oh Lord.
I just imagine Astrid bumping down,
Oh, yeah.
busting down the doors. Like, here's Johnny. Like,
Oh yeah.
grabs his own
Or just
mace.
shatters.
Oh no.
For sure.
That's
The horrors. The horrors that
essentially what
would've
happened. Every single.
occurred had he not busted.
Go
the
ahead.
door. Oh, sorry. I think I'm lagging a little bit.
The both
I
of you
said
were
the
both
whole
of you are
group
like-
would have. Okay. Hold on.
shout out. Oh, and he's gone.
He's got to reset himself.
He's got to center his key.
Indeed.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was neat to see like all of these different abilities like come out
On full
in one
display,
fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, Domino moving at Mach 10 and jumping out and being like, "Hey, look, it's me, Domino." Astrid literally killing every person who didn't explode.
Oh yeah.
Now, I will say, when you said that,
Hmm.
my favorite kill was the guy that called me a bitch.
And then
Oh,
you
that
sure
was
you
funny.
can them.
No, that was the second guy.
Oh
The
yeah,
first guy, I didn't even say anything. I just smirked and then
Okay.
cracked him over the head with my quarterstaff.
yeah.
Yeah, because I made a rule to Rose off stream and stuff. I was like, "Hey, Rose, for the sake of me having to not tell you every single time, just count everything I do from now on as non-lethal." So seeing him when I rewatch the stream light up when I say, "Oh yeah, lethal," it felt good to see him light up and be like, "Oh, smile," just the biggest kid smile, like he just walked into a candy store, and like, okay, yeah, heck yeah. Now, of course, Astrid doesn't like killing that much.
Right.
He does get angry from time to time,
Yeah. You're not
as I
beating
have
the
mentioned
allegations, but yeah.
before. I am not.
It's okay. We'll
Uh,
we'll get you a
I'm
good
not.
lawyer.
Yeah.
What I originally wanted to say
Something to
when-
work
before I
on
lagged
later,
out real
because he
quick.
still likes to try. No, wow.
Cameron?
I was just gonna say, because I lagged out earlier,
Yes.
the horrors that the group would have not witnessed but heard had
Yeah.
Astrid failed to knock down the door immediately.
Oh yeah.
It was going to be a nightmare for all parties involved, including myself.
Uh-huh. If
Psychic damage.
if you had gotten through, I would have preferred if Sylv, I think I even told you this, I would have preferred if Sylv just described the screaming and didn't describe what you did exactly. And then
Yeah.
everyone takes 1 point of exhaustion or something.
Just like you said, psychic damage. Everyone rolls a 1d4.
Yeah, for sure. Because, oh lord. Oh no. I don't,
It wasn't gonna be pretty.
because like, you're not just a normal werewolf. Like, a normal werewolf, it's fine. It's like a physical threat, you know.
Yeah.
In this family, we can beat wolves, so, But you're like a spiritual werewolf.
Something.
You're something.
Biblically accurate werewolf.
Biblically accurate werewolf is a great description. And I would love to see more of it. Now, I know Calicath
Saphira would not.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Actually, that's a good question. Grayson, you weren't able to react in the session, but do you think that Zatira being a tiefling, an infernal being, do you think she had any like knee-jerk reaction to seeing this celestial monster come out,
My first thought was, and people call me a devil.
Uh-huh. That's
Look.
really good.
Yeah.
Celestials aren't always the good guys.
Yeah.
Nah.
Just because
And,
they're of God does not make them humane or have
Yeah.
any humanity in them.
Nah.
Oh,
Zatira's definitely, I mean, she's seen, like, you guys, like, kill before. She's knows Astrid is, like, an absolute, like, devastating killing machine.
Yeah.
But then seeing it in a manner like that,
Yeah.
and then now, like, having some, like, resulting in more, like, distrust of Calicath.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's not feeling good about you.
I can imagine.
honestly, a reasonable reaction.
Yeah. I pity the fool who sees that and it's just like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
That's yeah.
But
God,
yeah, that was incredible. Simply
And-
incredible.
at the moment, Oh, I know I said it to everybody off stream, but
Mhm.
I guess I'll needs to be said on the podcast. That that form was like purposefully held back for the sake of anyone that might be in the way, like
Yeah,
Astrid. That his unconsciousness was an accident, of course,
yeah.
but
But it could have been a
uh,
lot worse.
it wasn't just the attacks that were held back. That
Oh,
at the moment is the lowest I could go with a transformation.
so so what you're saying is it's not even your final form?
Oh,
It's not even- it's not even my final form, but literally.
Uh-oh.
Over 9,000.
Over
But a
9,000.
lot of
Haha.
a lot of this form stuff is going to be up to the DM's discretion as well,
Right, right. Like,
based on thing like
is it...
the.
ah,
Go ahead.
Sorry. Is it more of a Naruto transforming thing where it's like, oh, he went to level 2, uh-oh, level 3 is bursting out because it just wants to? Or is it like a Super Saiyan thing where it's like, he transforms and then he has to exert more force to transform?
It's
And if you don't want to
It's
tell me,
more of
that's
like-
completely fine.
well, see, the thing is, it varies. It's going to vary depending on how the campaign goes,
Mhm.
because depending on the rest of the story, there is a very real chance that you'll never see anything past that. It is entirely possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, it's up to environmental storytelling as well as the DM's discretion.
hmm
But there's also a chance that the wrong move at the wrong time could absolutely cause an outburst.
Right, right, for sure. Yeah, that's... I'm really excited to see a lot of... I'm excited to see all you guys, for sure.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I'm... there was one sentence in episode 8 that made me really nervous about Calcat.
Oh god, what was?
I think I've told you this off screen, but it was the hey Vincent, you need to roll a wisdom saving throw. Okay. For a split second, you feel like there's someone else in the passenger seat, and then the feeling goes away. Like, what? What does that mean? Hold on. Take it back now.
Yeah, that's like the uneasiest thing you could probably
Yeah.
hear
Yeah, for
when
sure.
discussing when discussing a monster.
For sure, for sure. It's not even like it's not even like
It's a little unnerving.
it's very unnerving for sure, because
Well,
that could mean any number of things. And
yeah, it's pretty much limitless.
yeah, that could be literally anything from the outer realms. Whether that be a parasite or a god, I don't know.
It was not a wisdom saving throw I wanted to fail.
Yeah,
Wisdom check I wanted to fail.
for sure, for sure. Absolutely, I don't blame you. Oh lord. Alright.
It will likely cause problems in the future,
hmm
but right now we're good.
Right, right.
And I think that's what's most important.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's in the future. That won't affect us.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna go
We'll be-
okay
right up-
from now
We'll get
on.
right on that train and not worry about anything. It's gonna be great.
It'll
Yeah.
be future us problem, not
It's
now
no
us
bueno.
problem.
No
Yeah.
bueno for Domino.
No bueno for Domino.
Man.
You're probably not wrong.
Shout out.
Shout out. Right, so
Oh, and I guess last thing I'll mention about this was
Mhm.
again, I told everyone this off stream, but if Domino had been, how the AoE fear works during the initial transformation, if an enemy is within a certain radius of me, they have to make a saving throw or
Mhm.
become terrified. If Domino had walked into that area of effect, he also would have been affected by it.
right, for sure.
Because even now, still, he's still considered an enemy to Calicath.
Oh, right. So Astrid wouldn't have to roll, but
Yeah,
Domino.
Astrid didn't have to roll. Zatira wouldn't have had to roll,
uh-huh.
but Domino would have.
Oh boy, that's exciting and very scary. Domino, Matthew, keep your
I'm
head
just
on a
gonna let you
swivel.
know, Domino is not getting nowhere near any of that. The closest he's gonna get was that wall.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a reasonable reaction.
Yeah, I think Matthew, you played your character pretty well because you have 120 feet of like range for shooting, and if you move, like you had the expeditious retreat, so add like 60 more movement to that, and you really didn't have anything to worry about from the enemy side.
You mean you have to use a spell to move 100 feet? Could be me.
Gosh.
What a loser.
Oh,
What a
Well, not
loser.
everyone has
This
actual
post was
legs.
this post was made by Muscle Gang.
You have to use a spell slot to dash as a bonus action. Laughs in rogue.
I think you mean running fast. Cunning action.
cringe. You're both cringe.
And your character's dead, so it was really cringe, huh?
Yeah, well,
Nice.
my next character is gonna be so cool and
Oh,
also
yeah.
going to have intercourse with your Goliath mom. So,
Well,
Wow.
she's
Wow.
dead.
Going there.
wow, I learned more about your backstory from this
Wow.
than ever anything else. So,
I'm also lying. You don't know anything about my parents. I don't even
Wow.
like my parents.
Can't even
In
trust him.
game, in game, in
in
game,
game, shout out, shout
in
out.
game, in game, in game. In case they
Shout
heard
out.
me, because they are supposed to be home from church right about now. In game, in game,
In game, in Minecraft.
in Minecraft, in D&D Minecraft.
Mhm,
I
yeah,
represent my parents.
yes. So now we're in after all the combat and after the brutal death of the captain. And also before we actually I have one more thing about the battle and then we'll go to the rest of the episode. Did it bother anyone else? He's like a cleric, right? So he has spiritual weapon and spiritual guardian. Homie, his spiritual weapon was a jigsaw or a chainsaw, and his spiritual guardian were the ghoul things from Bloodborne. Like, hold on, hold up.
Yeah, let's not ignore the fact that they dealt necrotic damage.
Yeah, that is
You know
not.
what?
That
The
is
false life puppets.
yeah, that is. Those are not good people that we're dealing with.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm throwing this headcanon out there.
Uh
They worship Chainsaw Legs, Gary. They have to.
huh. Ooh,
You know what?
that
The
would be
red
funny.
god.
The red
That'd be
What?
god.
interesting.
Right, right. And it's kind of like the spoked wheel. It's got like the spikes on it and stuff. Kind of revs up like
Oh.
a chainsaw. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. Shout out.
Just saying.
Yeah, that could be really fun. But our opponent that we're fighting, that we're constantly fighting,
Yep.
is awful. Is horrible. Domino, do you remember that letter that you read? After the
Yes,
battle?
I do.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember when they said, oh yeah, the guys that died for this battle this day, yeah, their souls are going to grease the wheel of progress for us, for our god. Like, these guys,
Yeah, that's a fat yikes.
these guys are not good.
Could
And,
you
the
reread
fact
that for us?
that reading that, yeah, I did read it.
Hmm.
Reading that note aloud and realizing that I'm like their main target
Mhm.
is not sitting well for Domino. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
a lot of targets on your back.
That's also fair. Yeah, the guys who want you dead, Domino, they worship whatever thing that gives them those powers. So
Hopefully, it's not. Why?
I don't think it's why, but
It's the.
Still don't even know. We still don't even know what Y truly is. Anyway.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask a lot of good
Mm.
questions in the next episode.
Yep. Tap
And-
our resources.
Yeah, tap our resources, and it's almost funny, right? I want it to happen naturally, but I'm gonna throw out a suggestion, right? So one of our enemies, and I say enemies loosely, is the gold mask, the gold people, and then another group of our enemies are the Church of the Red. We need a color. We need a color for our group.
I like
The
green.
blue. The blue.
I like green too.
Oh, we
We
talked
can't go
about this
blue.
already.
You're already blue.
Well, yeah.
How
That
about the
doesn't mean anything.
Abadai?
Abba-dee-ba-da.
Yeah, dabba dee dabba dow.
For the
I
blue
Yeah,
men.
and that joke would be made
Blue men
24/7. We can't have that.
yeah,
They don't. As above doesn't know who that is.
but they
We
can.
will. That's the troubling part. We will.
Yeah, we'll be like, yeah, we're the Blue Man Group, and Sylph just looks at us with contempt.
Yeah,
Oh,
it gives us
no.
all disadvantage for our next roll.
All right, everyone, roll death saves with disadvantage. Uh, uh. I would love green because Onyx was green, but that's up to you
Green
guys.
sounds
'cause-
like
Everything
fighting.
Domino does
green-
is green.
Yeah, the green sounds like we're fighting for the trees.
And they also think we're working for
Thorax.
Domino, which is mad cringe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're our own free spirits.
we could like,
Orange. There we go.
what was that, Domino?
Just go orange.
Yeah, orange. We could
Oh, yeah, mix it
culturally
together.
we could culturally appropriate red and start calling ourselves something red.
Hey, I'm down
The
with that.
scarlet.
Or the Crimson.
Yeah. That'll be for us to decide later, but I think getting that in our heads would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, at the halfway mark of the episode.
Do you think
Okay, well,
as a group that. Okay.
no, go on. Go ahead, Justin.
I'm lagging. I'm lagging. Piss off.
All right. Are you lagging now?
He's muted now.
No, I'm not talking anymore.
Okay. Fine then. We'll just sit in silence.
Yeah, we're gonna wait for you to
We're gonna wait for you to say your
wait
thing.
for you to ask your
Yeah,
thing.
I guess we will. All right. Hope you enjoy the next 30 minutes of pure interrupted silence. Uninterrupted.
You're interrupted.
All right. So, after the break, when Sylph said, "All right, guys, it's time for us to take a break," homie, I thought that was the whole episode. That fight,
Oh yeah, it felt like it for sure.
it felt like the whole episode, and then we had you guys do a eulogy, do some looting, and then me as Zatira, talking to Pearl. What are you guys' first takes on Pearl? Because this is the first time he's interacted with your group, and y'all also aren't related to him, so.
Very dodgy, very skeptical of us for good reason,
Mhm.
but not sure how much we could really trust him with everything that we know.
Yeah. That's gonna be something that has to be dealt with for sure. Now, Kalakath, Cameron, you will have to explain why you used Onyx's name. I'm sure he'll really want to know that.
He's gonna be very
Oh.
upset about that.
Because
Well, you see, what had happened was,
it was convenient.
You see,
you see,
about
about
I
that.
think that was your answer to him when you were piloting Zatira. He asked you that question.
Yeah. Well, I knew it wasn't for any like big motive, but we're at the point where we can question it and kind of retcon it to be a big moment if we want it to be, or play it straight and be like, oh yeah, that was just the last name I had heard.
I think that's actually what you told them straight up already.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, the reason. All right, so the reason I did use the name,
Mhm.
or the reason Kalakath actually used it, was because it needed to be a recognizable name that that Astrid and Zatira would already know.
Mhm.
Like, for example, if they were already in there,
yeah.
what would happen if they showed up, or the guard showed up and said, "Oh, Kalakath's here to see you," before he even got in the room? Astrid would be like, "What the fuck is he doing here?" But Onyx felt like more of a natural choice that they would accept if by chance a guard had mentioned that someone was there.
Mhm.
what's his name? Oh, it's Onyx. Oh, we know that guy. Yeah, we're familiar with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I feel like we might have to have that answer in the back of our pockets because I'm sure that's going to come up. I'm sure Pearl is going to want to know why his brother was involved in all of this.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, how deep we brought him into it.
Hmm.
Fucking deep.
Yeah. Well,
Very deep.
I, as Onyx, wouldn't have had it any other way. There was a lot of cool stuff I wanted to do with Onyx. It's kind of a
Now he's dead.
yeah, shout out. So
Yo,
Shout
actually,
out.
I do have questions about that.
yeah,
Go ahead and ask them.
So, the moment that the guard put down his crossbow, why did Onyx decide to go with them instead of acting right then and there? Was it too risky?
and you're asking me that?
Yes.
Yes. I felt like it was. I feel like the captain made a very good argument when he was like, "Well, yeah, we're just gonna take you to
didn't.
prison." He didn't. No, absolutely not. And if I was like, I, it was very tricky for me because he kept moving the goalpost. Like, all right, all you guards leave out that way. We'll be on this side, and we'll get our brother. And he said no. I'm like, okay. We're gonna trade right here at the threshold. And he said no. Okay. And then he brought up the good point of like, okay, well, we're gonna need you guys for the investigation anyways. Why not just keep them here? And I'm like, you're not wrong, but we could just leave. And then he's like, why would you leave? You've given us Domino. And I'm like, oh yeah, that would look suspicious too. So it was very difficult for Onyx, who had never been in like a charisma savvy, like he's a toy maker and an academic. You know, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. Uh, he didn't sign up for a hostage negotiation. You know.
Yeah, I think we're all surprised in this hostage negotiation thing,
Yeah.
and more on that, like Zatira's thoughts, like when he mentioned like, you should stay because like, what do you have to worry about if you're innocent if we take you in? And then I didn't want to say anything because I thought, oh man, if I'd say anything, I'm probably gonna end up like jeopardizing what we have, and like why not? But when he said, why you should stay here, I mean, like, what would you have to fear being innocent? Like,
Yeah.
like you should stay. And then I'm thinking, like, you have the reason why we can walk away. You have the culprit.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
You
If
did. This is us clearing our names right here. This is us doing it right
Yeah.
now.
yeah, like we're trying to help you guys. Why would you make us go through the judicial system when we're actively helping you out? You know, it was all fishy,
Yeah.
all the way up and all the way
Yeah.
down.
Mhm.
If I had been like, all right, guys, group huddle one last time, I feel like a lot of that could have been ironed out.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I feel like Onyx would have been like, okay, yeah, no, this makes sense because he's a trusting guy, and at the end of the day, that was his Achilles heel, that he was, you know,
Too trusting.
too trusting,
Yeah.
Too trusting.
and even
It is unfortunate.
not even just too trusting to the red, almost too trusting to you guys as well, because he was like, yeah, I'll go in the place of these guys. Like, to him, it made total sense, but to the outside viewer who was objective was like, oh, you knew him for like 3 days tops.
Yeah. That poor toy making dumb bastard.
Yeah, shout out.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
But
What really hurts is I had a +4 to insight.
yeah,
When that-
that is
That is definitely
Yeah.
painful.
that's painful for sure. But
I've, yeah, I've run that scenario in my head like a bunch of times.
Mhm.
I know I could have made it to Pearl within 6 seconds
Yeah.
if I dashed, and like I could have then caught an arrow should a arrow been shot at me so
Right.
easily, and then got like hopped out of a window like, all right, everybody convene at somewhere. I don't know. We probably
Yeah.
should have planned better, but I don't know, man.
Well,
It-
the thing is, if you took off running
Mhm.
towards him, it would have sparked initiative, and then it would have been a gamble
Yeah.
on who
Who went
who
first?
got the first initiative.
Yeah.
If you didn't, either Pearl was dead or they shot an arrow at you, which would be the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, or surprise round too would have been a
Yeah.
thing.
But
Yeah.
they were already like at the ready, you know.
Yeah. I
That's
don't think
true.
But
surprise
then
round.
kind of letting their guard down, like not expecting an instant attack in
Yeah,
the middle of the talk.
Probably another good thing to do would be like try and deceive them in my own way. Be like, okay, yeah, I'll get myself up too with Onyx, and then boom, astral arms. Everything within my 10-foot radius has to make deck saves that I choose.
Mhm.
You know that happens. That's a good surprise round, and then I can just pick you both up and then just hop skip out the window.
Yeah. I think we could play this shoulda,
Honestly,
woulda,
though,
coulda game like a million times, but
I know.
Right.
It
I
just
think-
right.
sucks.
yeah,
I think it would have been cool if Domino revealed himself and he was just in a barrel
yeah,
and
He was barrel domino.
barrel
just-
domino.
But again,
this became a distraction
Yeah, for sure.
for his best friend Astrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering our characters we were all like level 4 at the time. Me and Domino being level 3 and not having that experience, that crisis negotiating experience, and then a lot of things were our downfall, but they were all story driven things. Like we could have played
Yeah.
better, but it was all accurate, And I feel
Yeah.
like making the quick decisions then versus like convening for 20 minutes and then making a decision. I think making the decisions then, even if they're the wrong decision, will make a better story anyways,
Right.
And
I
it,
agree.
it and it's like a teaching thing. Like, oh yeah, there are stakes here. I just killed one of the main characters, and you guys better be on your best behavior for the next one. Like,
Yeah,
Everyone-
for real. I was just like, oh yeah, insight checks are a thing. We never did that last campaign.
yeah, we didn't have to we only had to do it like once for the last campaign.
I know.
Yeah.
All
I
I had
think
to do
I
was just kill things.
Like once
Yeah.
or twice. Yeah.
But for this one, it's a different type of game, and I think that death sort of reinforces that. So I'm not all the way mad at that. Well, if that is it, we are quickly approaching running out of time. If anyone would like
I
to
mean,
say anything else,
I mean, it still hurts, but
it
Yeah.
still hurts.
it still hurts.
I have one final question.
Yeah, sure.
So, how do you think this group dynamic is going to play out the further down the line we go? Because I'm starting to get the feel that every single one of us is like, it's like we're to each our own.
You're lagging out a bit.
We're
Like we're very
Our
independent and
own
like
lone
self-serving.
wolf. No.
Yeah, our
Just
own lone
'cause,
wolf.
Like,
I
I don't
think,
know.
I think it.
Do you think it's gonna cause
Cause any issues?
problems
Probably.
later down the road? Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
because this group get up because like we were each doing our own thing,
Yeah.
But like
I
I don't know, man.
I think it can go a couple of ways. I've been on some teams of some pretty amazing operators who were all individuals, and I've been on teams of like individuals who did not have anything to give, and that's just going to be something we have to see, whether clicks form or relationships grow, and we're already seeing that a little bit, and strains on relationships, and hell, I'd love to see more,
It'd be
Yeah.
interesting for sure.
for sure.
Just wanted to ask that, like how
Yeah.
everybody feels about that,
Yeah.
because we meet people in like the span of 3 days. Like, oh, dude, you're immediately my best friend. I would die for this. I know his blood type. I know his mom. Been to his mom's house. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's been 3 days, bro.
Yeah.
Like, let's flesh out the friendship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much of that do you think is fake too? Like
Mm.
True.
The
Just for their own end goals.
3 out of 4 of us here, and I know I should have ended the episode like 5 minutes ago, but this is a good conversation. 3 out of 4 of us here are criminals, no offense, and
Yep.
not used to
Yeah.
trusting people. So how much of that is like, oh, hello, best buddy? How much of that is actually like true
True.
versus how much it'll grow in the future? You know?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, at least in one of those, it's overt, like, yeah, we're enemies.
Yeah, yeah,
And then on the fugitive
Yeah.
thing,
True.
like, wow, we're all pretty much bad guys, except for Onyx being the standout,
well,
for sure. And then,
mhm.
uh, I think I mentioned this to you, like, in person, but, like, how Onyx could have been our moral compass that
Yeah,
could have led us in, like, a less dark and bloody path that we're likely gonna carve out.
yeah. That was one of the intentions for Onyx. My last character I was going to bring in was going to be this bloodthirsty barbarian, and he died. And so I wanted to sort of switch the scene, and I saw that we had 3 rogues and a monk, and I'm like, and I say rogue non-class, but like, you know who you are, and I really wanted a character
Rogue? I'm
who
not
could
rogue.
who could like change things, and that's why he was a transmutation wizard. He wanted to not only change things from like lead to gold, which is the stereotypical thing, but to bring out people's true golden hearts, and that was going to be the big thing. But then I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if he was like a transmutation wizard who the opposite happened, where it's like, oh, he went from high standing to like criminal intention, and that's where the idea of the Bastard came in. But there was the idea
Yeah.
of transmutation was always going to be there.
And that's a really, really solid idea, dude. I like that a lot. And
Well-
speaking of moral
Well,
compass,
he's dead, so you know.
Too bad we'll
well,
never be
I'm
able to
just saying
explore
it was a solid idea,
I
but he's
appreciate
dead,
it.
so it doesn't matter. But like,
I
and going
appreciate
back to like the moral
Just like
compass
Onyx.
thing, yeah. uh, Calicath was pretty bloodthirsty in that manor fight, and he was
Mhm.
just really, really wanting to get that guy on the second floor.
Mhm.
Mhm.
With some exceptions, but his main thing is if I can just beat them into submission, then I'm all in for beating them into submission, because just no sense in having to kill everybody.
Right.
Like the guy in the second floor, Calicath was super duper foaming at the mouth, wanting to booming blade this poor fella, and I was like, no, man, he just surrendered. No more bloodshed. He just surrendered. I'll knock him out, and then, bam, knock him out.
It's
Which I say moral compass, but it's pretty dry moral compass. Just if they surrender, just don't kill them. Just knock them out or
Says
something.
the man that immediately next episode pounded an unarmed man's face into
That's-
literal mush.
that's
I
true.
said
That's
I kill with reasons. All right, I'm not a murder hobo.
Yes.
So this
Calicath-
goes
My
around.
reasons were
Calicath
there
killed with
too.
reasons. So.
Hellcat also killed a reason, yeah.
I
Yeah, he was a dog. So
I get what you're
Ooh.
saying, Justin. I think there would be a really cool opportunity if that's something you're interested in because you come from a monastic tradition that values like keeping your head and not killing people. Maybe there's a chance that you can end up being in that position, and I think that would be a cool story as
True.
is too, you know.
yeah, because of what I've told you and Rose about what Astrid does. He's a sentimental guy. He's got the ring of his dead friend, who he calls his brother. He's got the quarterstaff of another one of his monk friends that perished, and
Shout out.
he takes on aspects of things that he, respects. And so I'm excited to see what's going to happen with how much Onyx has rubbed off on Astrid, with how nice and trusting and helpful he was.
Yeah,
So it'll be good to
that's-
see what happens further down the line.
yeah, that's absolutely something I'm 100% looking forward to. Fellows, we are 10 minutes late on the closing time, but we are having such a good conversation. But I will have to call it here.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, like a parasitic host more than anything. James, who will be playing a very special character in the next episode, perhaps.
He's a sorcerer.
Damn it! With my good friend Grayson.
It's good to be back. Back in the seat, back in the pilot's chair.
Yeah, Justin.
Yes, I cannot wait for Saturday.
Cameron.
This Saturday.
And Matthew.
I am
That's
Domino
right.
Saturday.
Join us next time for more fun. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye forever.